Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing Thailand Pass and we're discussing processing times. And some pretty good information I found out there came from the Thai Inquirer, that's thaiinquirer.com. Article is titled, Government Announces New Entry Regulations. A lot of information in there. Urge folks watching this video, go check out that article. But to quote just one particular excerpt directly, quoting, the registration for the test and go procedure is still done via the Thailand Pass system with a processing time of around 3 to 7 days, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs says. So yeah, that's also what we've been finding. I mean, some of the folks here in our office have been able to get it done a little bit faster than that, depending on circumstances. But for the most part, yeah, 3 to 7 days. Now, that's a major time window differentiation, 3 to 7 days. That's 3 days versus a full week. So, and one of the real concerns about Thailand Pass is the fact that, well, quite honestly, Thailand, there was a lot of demand for tourism in Thailand and traveling into Thailand that arose from what I would call sort of impulse travel to some extent, or the numbers we saw before 2020, 39 million travelers, if I recall correctly, in 2019. Part of that number stemmed from the fact it was relatively easy to get in and out of Thailand. You could leave, go do a border run, do a visa run, come back in. You could, if you were working in the region, come spend a couple of days in Thailand, then boom, off to Singapore, off to Malaysia, off to Vietnam, off to Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar, any place around here. Pretty straightforward to move around. But again, Thailand Pass, as we've discussed, not overly loved by anybody who's looking to travel to Thailand. It is a rather cumbersome process. It's, they've argued it's better than the certificate of entry, but I would argue it's really basically cosmetic differences. I mean, really, the Thailand Pass is effectively just a certificate of entry by another name. But the bigger issue, it's this timing issue. Where once it was possible to just hop on a plane, come into Thailand, or make a booking a day or two in advance and then come on back to Thailand or come on into Thailand. That's just not possible. I remember almost on a quarterly basis, I'd oftentimes end up going to Cambodia a couple, 2, 3, maybe 4 times a year. But, same principle applied. It was, you just book your flight, oftentimes, Air Asia or something. It can all be done online. Book your flight, get on a plane, go there. Similar to Thailand. It was relatively easy to do that. Well, Thailand Pass not only creates a number of hoops you got to jump through, and you sort of feel like you're filling out some online form for the DMV, just to deal with it. The bureaucracy is somewhat exasperating, to say the least. But more importantly, there's this timing element. The fact that it can be 3 to 7 days before you even know you're going to be able to enter Thailand. And that causes a lot of consternation for people and makes folks seriously rethink the idea of coming into Thailand in the first place. So again, as we've discussed in other videos, hopefully this will end relatively soon, or sooner rather than later, and we can get Thailand back to the position she was, status quo anti-COVID, in 2020, quarter 1.